G'day and welcome from wherever you're watching this. Welcome to my episode of Message of Hope. Please do me a favour, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel and share this video with all your friends and loved ones. Yesterday was a bit of a sad news. Mainstream media reported yesterday the passing away of Scott Adams, famously the creator of the Dilbert comic books. I found something quite funny. So today I decided let's do something a bit more positive today, a bit more uplifting I hope. Especially I got a message for you ladies out there. I trust you're going to like this. Today's the 15th, correct? Alright, so born on January 15th, 1850, Sofia Kovalevskaya, I think I got that right, lived in a world that had already drawn firm lines around what women were allowed to do. University study, advanced mathematics, and academic leadership were considered out of bounds. Oh yeah, different times then. What makes her life remarkable is not only she crossed those lines, but how deliberately and thoughtfully she did. Pretty strong win, hence bad hair day. So what? It's about the message, right? Okay, Sofia grew up in a disciplined Russian household. Boy, I'd love to visit Russia one day. Yeah. Her father was a military man who valued order and structure. There's a well-known detail from her childhood that captures this perfectly. When the family ran out of wallpaper, pages from her father's old calculus notes were used instead. How creative. So as a young girl, Sofia quite literally lived surrounded by equations and symbols. She didn't understand them at first, but they became familiar. Good on her. They taught her quietly that the world runs on patterns. That idea matters more than we often admit. The Bible tells us, for God is not a God of confusion but of peace. That's taken from 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 33. That's a very comforting passage. Memorize that if you can. Order is not opposed to faith, it flows with it. When Sofia reached an age where she wanted to study mathematics seriously, she ran straight into reality. You see, women were not permitted to attend university in Russia. Oh no. There was no loophole, no exception waiting to be granted. Like I said, very different time. So she made a practical, costly decision. She entered a legal marriage, not for romance, but for mobility. And this is what it means. It allowed her to leave the country and pursue education elsewhere. This wasn't rebellion, it was sober calculation. She counted the costs and acted. I guess it brings beautifully the message, the end justifies the means, doesn't it? Even abroad, the resistance continued. Universities hesitated, professors doubted. She was often allowed to study only in private, but without formal enrollment. But mathematics has a way of revealing truth without bias. Her work spoke clearly. Eventually, her research was so strong that she was awarded a doctorate without sitting a formal examination. Something almost unheard of at the time. Wow, talk about groundbreaking events, that's one of them. Her work focused on analysis, differential equations and mechanics. Don't fall asleep on me, guys. These fields deal with how systems behave, how motions work and how balance is maintained. One of her most famous contributions, the Kovalevskaya top, explains the motion of a rotating rigid body under specific conditions. In simple terms, it shows that stability depends on respecting certain limits. Ignore those limits and the systems fail. That applies to a lot of things we have today. That principle applies far beyond physics. Scripture reminds us, for which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost? That's the book of Luke chapter 14 verse 28. And here's the point: systems, whether physical, personal, or financial, do not hold together without accounting. Sofia eventually became the first woman in Europe, modern Europe, to hold a full professorship in mathematics. She also became one of the first women to serve as an editor of a scientific journal. She earned those roles through discipline, clarity, and consistency, not by avoiding difficulties. What surprises many people is that she was also a writer of novels and memoirs. That surprised me. She believed creativity and logic belonged together. Mathematics to her was not cold or sterile, it was elegant. Order did not remove meaning, it revealed it. That belief fits naturally with a biblical worldview. Creation operates on rhythms, boundaries, and cause and effect. Scripture tells us. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Again, that's taken from the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 5. Hey, look at my hair go. Diligence requires clarity. Clarity often comes through numbers. This is where the lesson becomes personal. Many people say that they trust God, yet avoid simple mathematics. They avoid budgets. And you know, I'll talk about budgets. They avoid tracking expenses. I'm big on that too. They avoid looking carefully at income, debt, and commitments. Sadly, avoiding those numbers does not increase faith. It increases uncertainty. Simple maths is not advanced theory. It is addition and subtraction. It is knowing what comes in and what goes out. It's planning ahead and accepting limits. That is not worldly thinking. That is stewardship. If you've been on my channel long enough, you know stewardship is a big core value that we have on this channel. Scripture is direct about this. Moreover, it is required of stewards that they be found faithful. You can read that again on 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2. Faithfulness includes responsibility. Sofia Kovalevskaya did not succeed by ignoring reality. She faced it squarely. She worked within constraints and used order to create freedom. The same is definitely true for our finances. A budget is not fear. Please don't feel that way. Tracking expenses is not a lack of trust. Planning is not trying to control the future. It is aligning ourselves with the order God built into creation. Mass is everywhere because order is everywhere. And God created both. Absolutely. If mathematics helped Sofia unlock doors that were firmly closed, then the simple maths of budgeting can help unlock peace, stability, and generosities in our own lives. So that's a wrap for today. I hope that was helpful for some of you, men and women. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.